Hi, my name's David. I own and operate Country Whatnot Gardens here in northern Indiana, a nursery. We grow 25 different varieties and species of bamboo. We're located an hour south of the Michigan state line, and behind me is one of the Japanese species of bamboo that we grow. This is Pleioblastus simonii, and it's been there since the fall of 2018. And you can see it's not that big of a patch. It's not been a big spreader for us, even though it's classified as a running bamboo. It's only spread about a couple feet a year or so. So for a space that's not real big, if you got a small space you want to put something, and you don't want it to run real fast, you could easily maintain this one just by mowing. And like we talked about in the last video yesterday about the general rule of thumb with spreading bamboo is that they can spread as far from the edge of the grove down here outward under the lawn as the tallest culm is high. Has not held true for us with this one. As you can see, the tallest culm on this one is about close to 8 feet. And we've not had growth 8 feet out in the lawn in the spring, because in the spring, a bamboo will produce new shoots within that swath of the yard around it. However far out those live roots come, you'll have new shoots. And you just mow those off with the lawnmower when they're young and tender, and that prevents those shoots from spreading even further than beyond that point. But for this one, 2 feet has been about the maximum that we've had new shoots produced out. So it's not a big spreader, even though it's classified as a runner. It would be a good, I would say, moderate spreader. It's not slow like a fargesia, like a clumping bamboo. It's not super fast like something like Phyllostachys rubromarginata over there, which is a very fast spreader. But the only downside of the Pleioblastus simonii here is that it does top kill yearly for us. We're zone 5B. I know the USDA just recently upgraded us to a zone 6A, but that's not going to change the way I garden. People ask me what it means since they were upgraded in their zone. I say absolutely nothing. It's not going to change the weather. Keep gardening like you've been gardening. But this does top kill, similar to a Miscanthus sinensis behind me over there, how they die to the ground every year and then come back up. You can think of this one as nearly like that, except you see that the Miscanthus is already frosted, frozen back, it's tan already for winter, whereas this Pleioblastus is still green. And it's going to remain green until it wind burns and freezes to the ground, and then to re-emerge from the ground next spring with new shoots. They stay green, this Pleioblastus simonii that is, it stays green through about mid-January or so at least, generally. So then next year you could either leave the old growth, or if it's a small patch, you could cut it down. It wouldn't be difficult to cut down. These culms, again, this part of the bamboo is called the culm, C-U-L-M, culm, and it basically means the hollow stem of a grass plant, and that's the proper word for that, is a culm. So once it dies back, you could cut it down before the new growth comes up in the spring, or you can leave it. It comes right up through the old growth anyway in the spring. You can see some of the old growth here from year before last that was frozen back. It's right here. It doesn't change anything or detract from the look of the grove too much. But if you did want to cut it back, you certainly could. And it would make it a little bit cleaner looking, although you can't really see the old growth once the foliage gets up in the spring. So that's yet another bamboo that we grow here. And an added feature of this one is that it will do well in containers. A lot of bamboo won't do well in containers. And before you say, but I have a bamboo in a pot that I bought from the grocery store, I promise you, you don't have. Lucky bamboo they sell in grocery stores, malls, florist shops, elsewhere, is not a bamboo. It's an entirely different family of plants. It's just called bamboo. I don't know why they do. It wouldn't even look like bamboo if it wasn't for them stripping the leaves off the stems to expose the nodes. But you can tell a true bamboo by the branching arrangement. Okay, you can see it's alternate. You can see it has branches on this side of the culm here, and then it switches to the opposite side up here. So it's only a two-sided plant. It alternates, goes from this side, and vice versa, all the way up, alternating all the way up the culm. So-called lucky bamboo, I believe is a multi-sided plant. You look at it, it's in whorls. It doesn't have that. It doesn't have that bidirectional branching habit that true bamboo has. So anyway, it's rare to find a true bamboo that will do well in a pot. Stuff like these big rows of Phyllostachys over here, these Phyllostachys species, and Fargesia and different things like that don't really do particularly well in pots, and especially not indoors. But this one will. And another species in the same genus down here, that was Pleioblastus simonii. This one that I'm about to show you down here is Pleioblastus disticus, and it's a dwarf bamboo, and it's one that's often used as an accent plant in bonsai, as a companion plant for bonsai tree, especially on exhibit, because the foliage is so small on this bamboo that it looks really nice with bonsai trees. And you can see how small, well, get back. You can see how small this bamboo is. It's only maybe a foot, 18 inches, I think 2 feet is the maximum size on that. And an interesting thing to note on those small species of bamboo is they're more difficult to control than the larger stuff, because the larger stuff, like we talked about, when you mow it down, the new shoots in the spring, when they come up in the yard where you don't want them and you mow them down with the lawnmower, you're removing the foliage so that they're not photosynthesizing and feeding that root system, right? Well, with this little bamboo over here, you can't mow it close enough to the ground to remove that foliage. It leaves out too close to the ground. So it continues to photosynthesize and the roots continue to spread. For a small one like that, it's better off grown in a pot and brought indoors for the winter. That one will grow indoors as well. Or hoed around or something like that. Some manual work to remove those rhizomes where you don't want them from. In Japan, they actually use that small one as a ground cover in low traffic areas for Japanese gardens, because it will make a lawn and you only have to mow it once or twice a year for it to stay that height, unless you've got other grass and weeds and things coming up through it. But I maintain it just as a little clump around that rock, even though it is a running species. Now, that little one is actually a faster spreader than this and its cousin here in the same genus. That's the difference between Pleioblastus simonii and Pleioblastus disticus. Spreading isn't always a cut and dry, hard line. Even within the same genus, your different species can spread at different rates. So it's important to know which species you're getting, not just which genus, and because they all have different applications. But anyway, I hope you had fun and found the video useful. And if you don't mind a smaller bamboo like this top killing in the winter and then reemerging in the spring, it might be a good choice for an area where you don't want something to spread super fast. It still does require a fair bit of space, as this spot has been here since 2018, and I would say it's about 10 feet in diameter or so there. So still requires a good bit of space, but you could always put it in a pot and bring it into a garage in the winter, or you could put an in-ground barrier in, or if you have enough space, just let it grow. Like I say, it's 10 feet across. It's got maybe a few feet of root system on either side of it. So let's say 5 feet to really allow an excess amount of space, right? Just to be on the safe side, right? So you've got a 20-foot root system there under a 10-foot growth. That's not bad, right? Out in diameter, that is. Not deep. It doesn't go deep. But anyway, it's not bad as bamboo goes. So it could be an option. Anyway, I hope you found it useful. And if you liked it, like, subscribe, and share. Thanks. Until next time. Bye.